and the lack of nuance in that video, I will take full responsibility for. The biggest frustration is all the, and like I think Breeze, you said it, when you leave out nuance, people are filling it in for me. And I've been saying over and over, I don't like it when you guys tell my story for me. And I set myself up for that by making that provocative post without any context. I'm not undoing my apology, but I am not also not undoing the basic context of that video,
Yeah.
because it is harmful to me when people who are white in the world, because a lot of videos have been made about race and it being a social construct. We can't get rid of race yet. Hopefully one day we live in this post-racial society, but I don't think anyone in this life is going to live long enough to see that day. So race will be present, but we don't have to carry it with us inside. Race was used to define this out here: my hair, my nose, my face, my outer body, and the step after the reconciliation and all the trauma and the terrible lack of nuance is that people who are white in this world cannot hide behind another identity in order to cause me harm. And I have to say that that is the driving force behind making that video, is my constant experiences of being like, don't don't talk to me like that. I will not have a white woman talking to me. And it's like, I'm not white, I'm native, so I can say that. It's like, but we are clear that we are not having the same lived experience. And so when someone is doing that, they're telling me that even as a white person, even as a white presenting person, even as a person who moves through the world looking white, that they don't have anti-racism work that they need to do. Anti-racism is a process. People have written lots of books. It's like there's instruction manuals on the thing. And so if they feel like they don't have to do anti-racism, and then they also know the true definition of racism, which is people of color cannot be racist against white people. People of color cannot be racist in general because it's a tool that wasn't made for us. Now we've got a problem when this person doesn't feel like they need to do any of that stuff. And I know that that needs to be articulated more clearly, but we also need to address that's harmful. And I imagine that if this conversation goes in a way that people who are white, it's not an insult at all to say you're white. If you are white, but you have this identity, if I were to hold a caucus of people of color and a caucus of black people, if there's a white person in the black caucus, it's going to be very difficult to talk about our issues. You've got to know who you are. You got to know who you are in this world, and that's not an insult. But if you scream at me, if it's microaggressions, when that's coming from a white person's face to me, it doesn't undo that for you to tell me that your great grandmother was native. It still feels like a white person is causing the aggression. So
Yeah.
I think
Can I make a suggestion? Can
But
I make
not
a
all
suggestion?
natives were white, pale skin. You know, that's another thing about our history. Not all natives, because the Blackfoot Nation, the Blackfoot Indians were the most of the reason that they were such wonderful warriors was because they were the first tribe to get guns from the British and be on horseback and at accurate precision could hit the target. And not all natives were white skin. You know, there are a lot of natives that are dark skin, your color, my color, Breezy's color, and it doesn't have anything so much to do when you say indigenous people that they're white, as opposed to like say look at Buffalo, look at Geronimo. Geronimo was black skin.
implying that any ethnicity is of one shade across the board, because it's the same with us. And also, I'm speaking for myself. I'm just speaking for myself that when when a person who is presenting as a white person is using oppressive language and then refuses to hear me tell them that this hurts because they have a BIPOC identity, that it just doesn't. It's like, okay, then where do we go? Because I've just told you that this is something that is giving me a feeling, and then if the solution is that I need to just accept it, then we're back to where we started. Then why do
Oh,
Black
okay.
space where I can say I'm being harmed right now? Why is the answer to my harm always for me to be quiet and move out of the way and shrink?
Um, do you guys mind if I just want to say something really quickly.
That well, very well said. Very well said.
Yeah, that was very well put,
Oh, I
Miss
love to listen
Jones.
to you. I can listen to you all day.
Um, yes, I don't know if I don't know if somebody said, how do you repair space? I'm not sure if you were talking about our space, but I'm going to use that comment anyways. Because I would like for us to find a way to restore that space because it was very healthy for us, the Black women that came there. It was very good for us these last couple months. So I am, I personally feel that Nuggets needs to take accountability. She needs to take full accountability for her actions after that live. I have to, in knowledge and in like knowing what was going on, give her grace on what was happening in the live because I know like she didn't want to do that, and we kind of was like no because we're not about to take this heat tomorrow, so you don't take it. But anyways, I think she deserves to be held fully accountable for her actions after, specifically in regards to a comment she made after the live. I think she needs to be responsible for some fragility she fell into after the live, white fragility. And I want white people to understand that that is the tricky nature of white ego that you need to be careful with because once it starts eating and taking a little bit, you will slip into that space of fragility. You will slip into that space of white violence. So I think she needs to be held accountable and sit in that space right there. And I think to secure our space, my suggestion is that we probably should take that account.
Let me ask you a question,
We
Breezy.
should probably take that account.
Why do you think she did not shut down the live?
We told her not to.
Okay.
We got in like we was telling her not like behind, but like one of us got in the box and was like, I just texted her, don't throw, and I was like, well, okay. I was trying to shield us a little bit because I didn't want us to like take the heat, but okay.
No.
Yeah, for the
See,
most part, I
when I
think
saw that, I didn't even participate. I switched over to somebody, Patrick.
yeah,
Yeah,
it just was
or Petty Row or something.
yeah. I don't yet. Like I said, the fragility she fell into afterward, and some of the that slip in the ego for me, I feel like it's just that's showing that there's still some work to be done. And I, quite frankly, I think that I don't know why people think Nuggets is like this superhero, activist, advocate, accomplice. Like she's just our friend. Like she's my girlfriend. Like the Black women that like we're just her friends. Like, they're just her friends. The POC people, they're just friends. Indigenous, we're just her friends. She's not like when they say ally. I keep thinking I'm like, but this our home. Like this our home girl. Like this not like somebody that's coming to like allyship for us. He's slow and loud. And I want people to get that like mentality out because she's just a white woman that's our friend and my girlfriend. And that I feel like the number of people that follow her might dilute people a little bit. Like you kind of think like because she has this large following, he is like in it. This large following that like she's somebody and like it might be
I
a
don't
little
even
bit
know who you're speaking of.
my white ass girlfriend. So it might be like diluting a little bit and I generally feel like that's not a positive thing for people to look at a white person with a large following and think they automatically like supposed to be out here like advocating and activists in the streets and stuff. Like it's not like that. Um, so I think, quite frankly, we as a group the Black women, some of us are in here in the live. I think we probably need to have a talk, ladies, and we need to probably just take over that account. It'll still be white listed, so it'll still be safe from ban.
Yes.
But yeah, I think we all need to just
Sorry?
gather that spot because
Oh,
it's not doing our friend well. So
Oh, okay. Well, there
yeah.
was one point in the live, Miss Jones. There was one point in the live, Miss Jones, where you could actually see like the humility where you like broke. And it was right around when one of the earlier ladies was talking about, one of those indigenous ladies that was talking about, how she felt about, what you were saying. And they were kept insisting that she should apologize and she should apologize. And I was in there, with my heart, and I was saying, she did apologize. Like it was almost like everybody wanted this individual apology, and I felt offended. I was like, well, I don't think she should have to individually apologize to every single solitary person, but at the same time, she already apologized to the indigenous community as a whole. I felt it. I liked it. I was like, okay, good.
Mhm. Yeah, and there's work to be done after this live. Of course, that wasn't sufficient. I've got to go in and do some tidying up. Like I said, I'm I'm not at home
Are
right now.
you gonna delete those
Traveling,
videos?
huh?
Are you really gonna delete those videos?
Oh, absolutely,
Really?
absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely,
Did they
absolutely.
get like a lot of
I
views?
think
Did it
I
get
think
like
it's
a lot
important
of
to know that
likes or views or something?
I don't have a monetized account.
Uh-huh.
So like I don't have any investment in trying to keep a well engaged video up on my page. There's no reason if that's causing harm. Um, I asked if it would be better to keep it up and then like stitch my video or do something like that. And I think the general consensus is to take it down, but to use clips of it or screen grabs of comments. Like before I delete it, I need to scan it. I need to look at things that I was saying. I need to look at my mentions because I wrote in people who duetted and stitched those videos, and I need to find things that I said in there.
It's like
Um,
critique yourself,
yeah,
right?
yeah, and without any excuses, just um,
mm,
make sure that it points at a timeline. At this was said, and then this was said, and then I realized that this, and
mm,
here I am right now, and here's my plan going forward to
mm,
this anymore. And this is the feedback that I got, and you know that's my plan for sure.
Yeah, like you were
I
saying,
wouldn't
you are
say I'm going to
responsible
delete
for
it
your
and then
own self. You're
yeah,
independent. You're responsible for your own. That's good because you want to protect yourself, your reputation, and just who you are, knowing who you are, and you don't want anything to put any kind of a mark on who you are.
exactly.
And then your relationship comes, but you come first. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Exactly. And yeah, I mean, it just that's a whole other thing that also requires reconciliation. And I think that the parts that involve Lance date back to March, and that's a whole other can of worms that need to be opened up. And I think that there's some one-on-one conversations that need to happen before they go into the live and just become a big spectacle of arguing and yelling. When I first got in here, it sort of breezy the same way that Raven was here when you got in, and it felt a little bit like, whoa, that's not what I was expecting. Aunt Karen was let in the moment I got into this live, and that just shifted my whole thing. I immediately went into like professionalism is a shield for me. Professionalism is a shield against white supremacy in the workplace. And I immediately went into a mode where I was like, what can I do to protect myself? And one of those things was, we're all yelling, everyone's yelling at me right now. And then I also need to understand, why would I need to be interacting with Aunt Karen right now? What is relevant to her in this moment right now? It was very boom, like in the face, and that didn't seem to get answered for me. And I was like, this is the point where you now need to leave, because you just made the thing that we're not living in March anymore, that we're moving on. Nobody wants to be there anymore. And I'm like, then why is it relevant to this person telling me what their text messages were, Lance? I just don't care about
Yeah.
her story in this, and it sucked up the reason why I was here, which was, I'm here because of this video and then the comments, and then the additional comments, and then my videos and my response. That's why I'm here, and I can't speak for.
But see, Patrick had got us all fired up because he was going at it. He was going at it. He wanted Lance to come forth. But when Lance didn't come forth and someone said, Miss Jones is here. And when you came in, you were right. Everybody just kind of like, oh, well, we got something here. Let's just choke her,
Right,
and I
exactly.
apologize.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
apologize because that's how I was feeling. I was like, well, he's not here. Let's just get on her because she was a part of
And
that,
then, and it was like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't
Yeah.
scratch my face without someone being like, "See, you scratch your when people
You
scratch
rolled
their
your
face,
eyes.
they're
Yeah.
lying." And I'm like, I am having an almost panic attack right now because I was not expecting to be confronting this person. I called you, I called you, I called you. I'm like, you're telling me how much of a great hacker you are. You would have called my work phone. You would have emailed my work address. You would have emailed my 6 different personal emails. Stop. Just stop. There's no reason for us to do this.
Yeah. You've been handling it pretty
Anyways,
well in that hot seat. How long have you been on, Miss Bree?
I don't know, a couple hours. I want to make
Couple.
sure that I talk to my girl while she was in here. Let her know, listen, I love you, and you listen.
So you
Anyways,
all know each other?
yeah, I'm good. Ooh, I want to fight.
You all
You know
know
how
each
I
other?
do. I'm sorry, I want
Yeah,
to
we
fight,
know
man.
each other.
Okay. Oh,
I
cool.
talked earlier. It was good, but like I want to fight. I don't know. I feel like shooting the fair was a little bit, but you rock. You know what you're doing. You got full fucking like brains on fucking fleek. I don't doubt you gonna make the best decision. I don't listen. You got it, but I'm gonna let you know. It's still in my brain. I'm like boxing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyways, yeah, I love you guys. Oh yeah, I just wanted to touch on another thing. I want for whoever, I don't remember who it was that was in there. I don't want to take what I don't want to take back that everybody might feel is problematic is, and this is just a personal point. I don't want to take back my direction to anybody that was cussing my girlfriend out. I don't feel like that because quite frankly, like don't you can't do that and not in our space. I know every black woman in here love nuggets and like if you can't do that. Don't tell to shut the F up, sit the F down, all kind of stuff. Like I don't care who you are. Like that's just not gonna be acceptable at ever to do. So
Well, she already knows that. The young lady, she says in the comments, she says, yes, you may have apologized, but you've hurt so many people with your ignorance. Like she's already acknowledged that.
I
It's
know.
like that's the part I'm talking about. It's like she acknowledged everything, she took accountability, and she apologized. And it's like, but like they want blood or something.
I said the same thing earlier. I'm like, do you want us
Oh yeah,
to
you did. Yeah, you
on
sure
a
did.
bloodlet of it? Because I'm telling you too that this is not just ending tonight. I'm going to get a good night's sleep, and I'm going to meticulously comb over the whole 24 hours of BS. And I'm calculated. I'm going to be strategic.
So
It's
it
going
got
to
pretty
be
nasty, huh?
and I know
Wow. I'm
I'm making it
asking. I wasn't on
happening
that
and
live.
happening for sure.
Wow. Well, good luck to
yeah,
you and good blessings. It's been a pleasure talking with you, young ladies. I just really appreciate.
thank
I
you.
know when I see everything now, the activism and everything in the hands of young ladies like yourself, I say, I could just sit down because they got it. They got this. They got this. And I feel like, this, I feel, I don't want to say a word like pride or anything, but
Hmm.
I feel a certain, like, wow, like, you don't have to be the only, you don't have to carry the sign, you can just rest a bit because these young women out here today, and their terminology and the way that they ebb and flow and the way that they move. I mean, they know what the frick they're doing. And I just sit back and like, and kind of like in awe, like, wow, that's pretty neat. That girl, they know what they're doing. They making money. They're standing up for, their rights, women's rights, black rights, medical rights. And it does see how far it's come, because when you're in the 70s, none of this was going on, not like this. It was, boots on the ground. You couldn't just, get behind the computer and, and affect 2 million people or 3 million people. And when you have a large platform like that, you have a responsibility to, whatever your platform is about, you have a responsibility to, protect the people that follow you. In other words, put it like that. That's what I want to say. I don't
Yeah.
have to say that you have this big responsibility to, Black Lives Matter and everything, but whatever your platform is about, you have the responsibility to protect those people in there. Like Patrick, you can't come into Patrick's comment section saying something about a black woman,
Yeah.
It's like, that's why I follow. He's the only large content creator that I follow. I mean, I
Yeah.
have content creators that I follow. They follow me. I follow them back. But I was on one of his lives one time, and I just followed him, and he followed me right back, and I was like, wow. And he had already, like, at that time, like maybe 300,000. Not that many now. He's got like a lot, and I just like to keep up with him. Send him flowers, and sometimes I just drop by the lives, and I'll say, yeah, I just want to share some likes and maybe see some roses or something like that. I don't stay a very long time, but tonight I was so very impressed by this young lady, Miss Jones, and the other people that came into the box that I've stayed all night, because I was just overwhelmed. Sometimes I got teary eyed, and sometimes my heart just felt really warm because I just felt like, wow, these young ladies are really well together. They know what they're doing. They're not going to let white supremacists or this society, the way that it's formed, to screw them over and water hose them down and, take their sons and men and boyfriends and stuff out just like that and just get rid of them and like they're insignificant. And I appreciate you.
Yeah. I hate butchering people's names, so I'm just gonna say nothing but WHAKAAROKORERO. Yeah, I think, like I said, I'm cerebral, so I'm like tempted to want to educate right now, but I don't feel like this is an education like that kind of place. I feel like this is an EQ kind of place, or like space. So, if you'd like, there's videos kind of breaking down the historical context of the word, so that you can understand the dynamics of the co-op, to different groups after the creation and historical, definition of the words before it was co-opted and moved along, because it has transitioned over time, and to meaning different things. I think, from the Black community's perspective, we found resonation in, speaking on the fact that the definitions, we like the way we define, has changed, but like we're not changing the definition. Like
Yeah,
that's what it means
definitely.
for us. Like that's it, because we
And,
defined it like that. It's
yeah, and if
like,
I could also add
yeah,
that intersectionality and womanism is also that same thing. So as we start to use words that come out of other communities, those are two words as well. Every time you say intersectionality, that's a black woman's coined word.
yeah, yes, for sure.
Yeah, I've heard that word before. I knew what it meant a couple of days ago when I heard it, but then I forgot. You tell me again, Breezy?
Like if you talk
Intersectionality.
about
There was this young,
intersectionality and don't include blackness.
right, and I don't even know, Ms. Jones, people are very well versed on even the coined phrase womanism yet, because it's fairly new. It's it has to
Mhm.
includes Black women, and it's like, I
It
guess,
has.
I don't even know. I don't even want to say it's the counter to feminism, meaning feminism for like white women, women as Black. It's not really like that. Womanism starts at the very base of a trans Black woman, and then move up. Um,
Hmm.
Feminism starts at,
Yeah, and I love that they describe it as
yeah,
womanism is to feminism what lavender is to purple,
correct.
where it's not the same. It's
Yeah,
in the same family,
and not the
but it's
same.
not the same. And it's important to understand
That's
their
what I.
different aspects to
That's
each.
what I mean. 70s is new. Feminism started in like what, the 20s, 30s. 70s is new, girlfriend. What you talking about? I was born in the 80s. What you trying to make me feel old? That's brand new. I was born in the 80s. So that's still our agenda. That's still our timeline.
Well, I was born in the 60s when we still had our own private bathrooms.
The 70s is that's like 85. That's look, don't do that.
That's so funny.
I know there's like late 90s, late 2000s kid babies in here too. I know, but like don't like 70s, that was like 180 years ago. That was like 300 years ago. Like anyway. All right,
Yeah,
I'm
I've
gonna
I've gone. I've seen a lot of different speakers, and I don't know. It's just kind of like it's evolved. I'll say it like that. And when you say the word, are you saying the word of God? I didn't want to interrupt you, Breezy, when you were speaking.
What did I say?
You were talking about the word.
The word which word?
I don't
Womanism?
know.
Womanism?
No, you were saying you were going to talk. You were talking about some. I believe they were addresses or addresses, and you were talking about you didn't want to educate at this time on.
Because I feel like this live is more of like a emotional. We're getting EQ here, and I don't want to switch over to like let's switch the brain. Let's go to IQ area, and then lose all the EQ, knowledge we got here today.
Okay. Yeah.
But on my platform has a couple of the videos on breakdown of the historical context behind the word white passing, white presenting, time frame, what they meant,
Oh,
things
okay.
like that,
Gotcha.
who created it, all that.
Oh, yeah.
Um, they're like the first maybe like 3 videos.
Okay.
Oh yes,
I'll
Kimberly.
definitely take a look at that.
Yeah, Miss Jones. I don't even know what to do with Pat's live. I don't know what to do.
Just do what you do.
This how I felt with the live the other night. I was like, I don't know what the hell to do. I need to go to sleep. I'm fucking drained and abused.
Well,
I need to
I
go.
I, I believe it
And she
was
fell
about
asleep.
Miss
She fell
Jones, and I
asleep in that
think that
live
he
too.
would
And I'm
want
like, I don't know
her
what to
to
do
wake
if you
him
fall
up to
asleep.
let him know what she wants to
Yeah,
do.
call somebody. Call him. As a matter of fact, what am I talking about? I can text. Hold on. No,
Patrick
Bree,
went
search cheese.
right to
Don't
sleep.
play. Don't play. How many times we done been in that live? Nuggets fell asleep, and we be told for like 2 hours. Like it's like 3 hours later. Be like, well, I guess we just gonna leave her phone on and get out of here. Just go. I guess her phone just gonna die. Bye.
Well, this is a better than watching pimple popping videos.
Yeah. Yes. For everybody all the black women that was in there the other day, I do want to lend my thank you. And I know it was rough, ladies. I know. But I think, to be honest with you, it went really bad. But we got to protect ourselves sometimes. Sometimes we got to protect ourselves and say, like, not today. And that's okay. And I know it was a lot. It was a lot of hurt. It was a lot, but is white flag and was I think the best call for us at least this time because I wouldn't. Yeah, yeah. Boundaries are valid, and
Soul Child. I know how you can wake him up. What's your cash app?
hey Pat, what's your cash at?
What's your cash app, Pat? That guy's
And I
super
get it.
smart.
I don't want to leave either. I don't want to blame. I don't want to blame. Like, okay, I don't want to leave making anybody in the indigenous community feel like, oh, we crossed over their boundary. That was urgency. So everything was kind of like hot for everybody. So there's a sense of urgency to reach somebody and talk to somebody that has hurt your community. And this person so happened to show up in this space. So I get this. There was a sense of urgency to like, no, we got to talk to you. I don't care where you are. So I get it. So I want our
Yeah, they
community to heal and
undo things.
understanding both sides. Like we have to understand each other and have empathy, compassion for each other, and say like. And I feel like I'll be honest, it took like a day for me to reach it. So because I was like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I can't.
Well, it was like you kind of feel like people are going against what you're trying